Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. This is going to be a good one.
Welcome back to the Positively Negative Podcast,
where we talk about life, love, and the pursuit of positivity in an occasionally negative world.
I'm Dalio.
And I'm Team Humble, and we're glad you're here.
Yeah, boy.
I just let off the biggest burp in the middle of that. Like just.
While you were muted during the intro.
Yeah. I just needed to get it out. Like it just needed to be done.
No wonder you got on with it so quickly. You just felt it rumbling.
It was coming. It was coming. Like it was coming up, and there was nothing I could do about it. I didn't want to be just like, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the
Yeah, that would have been super unprofessional. Hello.
How you doing, Massa?
I'm not too bad, Biza.
We're recording a little bit later in the day than we usually do, which doesn't mean really anything because we're...
Oh, God, my mic's over here. Damn, sorry.
I'm here now. I'm sorry.
Damn. Baby. Yeah,
sorry.
We both have a little bit of a whirl. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I have a little bit of a whirlwind energy on Wednesdays because it's a logistics day for me, but...
Yeah.
Hi, how you doing? You sounded good without them, to be honest.
Yeah, I just had it like pinned up on the side. I've now got a space where I actually clip it onto something, and I was just talking into thin air, like because I've got my mic in front of me, my other mic. I just assume I'm using that one, but I don't think I am. Let me just double check. But yeah,
either way,
you've had a bit of you had a mad day today.
Yeah, like we talked about it before a bunch on here, but it's meal prep day. And so that means there's like a convergence of calories, finances, time, and energy calculations that are all going on simultaneously in my positronic brain. Plus, like, I have to go out in public in like the quote unquote real world. And it feels like a zombie run. Like, I want to get back as soon as possible. So it's not like a stress anxiety thing, but it's like, I feel like I have to amp myself up to build up to it type of a thing. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, you have to run at it almost.
Yeah, exactly. Or else like it's crazy out here. Let me tell you, there ain't no more pumpkin spice seasoning on the shelves. It's all gone.
So you had to make it. What, already in October?
People out here are like, I have a picture of it actually. It's every spice, and there's like probably 30 slots for pumpkin pie seasoning, and it's gone. Like they out here being so extra a couple days into October.
Crazy.
So
that's crazy.
I made my own, and I made some pumpkin pancakes.
I'm on this one. Yeah, I'm on this one.
Yeah, you are.
All right, cool.
And I made some chicken soup, and I have a sink full of pots and pans, but it's nice to sit down. And I finally feel like I'm winding down.
You need to get them done before,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll get them done.
My day's been just quite steady, really, for a midweek. I mean, it's just like, just stepping along.
Do you feel like you were able to pick up like what you've been working on Monday, Tuesday, or do you feel like each day you have to kind of like activate yourself type of thing?
Well, I kind of call this title, I call the title of this podcast Retreating from Centralization to Realisation.
Whoa.
And I think I just hit a wall with it today where I looked at the whole like 4-week program thing that I was am going to build.
Yes.
And it's a lot of 5 to 10 minute little episodes or little emails to receive. It might be a video and 5 links and a footer. But what was really difficult is that I was trying to frame what each week would be and where do I put things in that order? And as I was going through it, I realized how much of a journey we both have had in the last 2 years because of, Steam and the blockchain. And it just brought everything flooding back in terms of, we've moved so far from centralization to like this massive realization that everything's going to be like splintered and spread apart. Yeah. And then on top of that was YouTube like going down. YouTube never goes down for like an hour. And then also Canada now can smoke weed. It's like, Okay.
Oh, everything. I just feel like we hit like I know we talk about how fast time moves, but I feel like we hit like a slipstream just like the past like 4 or 5 days. Like that is all everything that you said totally true, and that's kind of been playing on my mind. And then all of a sudden yesterday I randomly thought about how I used to work for a a virtual assistant company called Fancy Hands. And
oh God, yeah.
do you
Forgot
remember
all
what
about them?
yeah, that's what I was saying. Like it jumped in my mind, like, oh my gosh, I used to do these tasks. And this is not to
no,
whatever.
no.
If that's your hustle. Like it helped me a ton. And it actually was one of
Got
the
you
reasons.
going.
Yeah, it was
Got
one
you
of the
going.
reasons I was able to get to you, because I was walking dogs and we were like, I need something that is like location independent so that I can, come
Take
to
it
you.
and leave it as and
Right.
when, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And kind of go back and forth. So that it was a huge blessing to have. But I remember being like, do you remember how stressed I used to be? I've been like, big job was like transcriptions on that service. So I'd have to listen to meetings, like minutes of people's meetings and stuff. I'd just be like, whoa.
Yeah, but if you think about it, I've not seen anything from those platforms that have said, oh, we now support crypto. It's almost like we're still waiting for people to be like, oh, it's actually useful. Yeah. And what I'm like getting excited about, but also like concerned about, is that everything I've used up to now, like Gmail and things like that were free and centralized, I realize now more than ever that I need to decentralize everything.
Start uncoupling those like links.
Everything.
It's true, because it's almost like you bring up email, but it's almost like your email inbox. Like nobody sets out with their first email address and says, let me sign up for all this shit that I possibly can. And like now, fast forward however many years later, we're like drowning. Like inbox zero is a joke. And, those things like accumulate little by little. So it's like, you kind of do have to, I do the same thing with my bills every month. You have to like almost set a reminder to be like, what did I sign up for? How can I like de-stress, declutter? It's like almost like being a minimalist, but online. Be like, how the hell did I accumulate all this like digital BS? Like, especially when you and I use Steam Hunt and, just our frequency that we run at, we'll like download a bunch of apps and like try them out. Like I need to purge that stuff once a month. Maybe we need to do like a day once a month where we have a live stream and that's like our digital purge day where we're like,
maybe
clear down the drives, like empty the trash, back everything up and unsubscribe from like everything that we had done.
I've definitely got a headspace right now of like upgrading to a Linux desktop. So like completely move away from like Mac, completely move away from Gmail, Google, everything. Just because it just makes more sense. Like I just look at the last 2 years in terms of what it's given me as a creative thinker. Like I know a lot of people will be like, oh my God, creative, like influencer, yada, yada.
Influenza.
Like, influenza. Yeah. Social influenza now. That's what we're calling them, right?
Yeah. That's the new term.
I don't know. It's given me room to think massively about what I'm doing, what I want to do, how I want to do it, where I want to do it, and how I want to get paid for it. And especially in this world, which is changing every single minute.
Like it's so the pursuit of being nimble. Like for me, I find that thought is probably at the forefront when I make decisions about like things I sign up for, things I participate in, jobs that I take, people that I want to work with, is like my number one.
Can I get in? Can I get out?
Yeah, my number one thing is like, and it's not a non-committal thing. It's like, is this going to, and I don't care what the paycheck is this going to force me to sacrifice the things that I've been building up? Because I feel like a step forward is just, if it's not a step forward, it might as well be a step backward for me. So if you don't offer something to me that helps me to get to a place where I want to be, or helps me get closer to that place, then you and I have our own projects that we work on. Like I have stuff that I have to push back in the daily because clients pop up and things pop up, and I'm happy to do that. But it's not like I'm sitting around twiddling my thumbs. So I always have projects that I'm working on building because I want a more location independent future, and I want a more financially stable future. And if I can't continue to work on those things, then like, what am I doing? Then I might as well just go go get a job at a coffee shop. Not that there's anything wrong with working at the coffee shop, but it's just an hours thing. It's it's like so greedy in terms of your hours and your energy and your creativity to have those 9 to 5 sometimes, that I'm going to try to like be strategic with the projects that I take on.
Yeah, I don't know. It just really hit me the last couple of days, and I got sketching on the notepad, and I was like, okay, I've got to start working on this at some point. I've got to like really fill this out. And then when I had it in front of me, I kind of got it down to like, I mean, they're really rough, but like week 1 was to inspire and empower. Week 2 was to be supportive. Week 3 to have depth, and then week 4 to have longevity. So like, there's various elements within inside each one of those weeks. And the only reason why I've been thinking about it for a while, why I want to do that, is like, I'm 2 years in, I've used it, I've played with it, I've, pulled steam out, I've put steam in. Like, I feel like that is where I want my decentralized comms with people to be. I'm kind of okay with meeting virtually new people and seeing where they're up to, what they're doing. They might be just coming in from centralized platforms. But if I'm going to do the things that I want to do, or what we want to do, then I need to have something that coexists with the way I'm thinking about decentralization, decentralized location, decentralized working, getting paid in a decentralized way. Like, I'm all into it, and I don't think it's going to vanish anytime soon. Right. If anything, I think, the way that the world is kind of turning out right now, I feel like we're definitely turned a corner into people's realization that we have to optimize what we have now. Right. Like literally across the board. Well, it kind of sounds like if I were to summarize everything that you're saying and everything that I'm saying, they sound like two sides of the same coin. I agree. And I think that a big part of why we're both in this headspace as a result of working with Steemit and working in decentralized platforms is that I don't feel like I need to compromise anymore. I don't feel like I need to bend to a system, or it sounds very punk rock of me, I know, but I don't feel like I need to work my the way I work, the way my brain, my creativity works, my energy processes. Like, I don't have to mold that around a pre-existing thing, because I found this decentralized way of working that I can fit into the slots that I create. So it's like, and that bleeds over into the way I'm treating, like I said, my new client relationships, where I'm like, I used to be such a freaking pushover, and I probably still am in a couple ways, but it kind of gives you like a digital empowerment, a digital confidence to be like, oh yeah, I don't need that. Like, we've seen it all before, right? Yeah. It's like when you see, a lot of people still fall for the marketing, the upsell. Like, I can see most of the time, I can see through a lot of it. And I've got to the point with it all now where, I saw something in the news today about something to do with payments for people who've, some health thing to do with the government, where they fucked up in 2011, 2014, 2018. And now the problem has turned up that they're probably going to have to pay 180,000 people $5,000 each in back pay, 1.5 billion, because they fucked up 4 years ago. Wait. And we're just about to go into Brexit, and Brexit's going to be a complete mess. Yeah. And then today, the US is like, oh, here's 180 billion trade agreement. Like, the world is changing rapidly. So I don't know what we're going to eat from America, and I don't know what you're going to eat from here. Probably Blue Bomber cheese, maybe. I don't know. But my point is, up on mushy peas. My point is, everything is in flux. Everything's moving. Right. And everything's out of position. And it feels a bit like we're all a character in a Doctor Strange movie. Yeah. Like, I really I'm just waiting for a portal to open up for me to slip right through. Like, I'm just waiting for one. Yeah. Hopefully it goes to Canada. So, hell yeah. Let's go. I bet their visa application offices through the wall. I bet it's mother effers are drowning in paperwork. It is a paper cut heavy risk zone. Well, at least that we know the jobs for cannabis pickers. So, like, hey. I'm down.
I'm down to. I'm a little.
But the thing is, what I've seen about that, which is interesting, is that they're kind of treating it almost like a startup. So most of these things, there's one called Tweed, which seems to have like 6 or 7 places, and they're really well done. It's run like a startup. The graphics, everything, logos, design, what kind of hit you want to get if you want to be mellow. Like, it's absolutely like perfect. It's not some scabby little house or little home where you just go and knock a door.
Branding if people are going to get over the stigmas of like, oh yeah, well, you know, your stoner cousin, like, you know, in his Led Zeppelin shirt. Like, it's, you know, I think a lot of, well, maybe in the States, but yeah, that shit's heavily engineered and marketed and branded now.
I could basically get on a plane with my ID and I could buy up to 30 grams of weed legally and smoke it in the street in Canada now.
I saw that guy coming out of the building who said I got
you see it with the bags? He got one of everything. The guy was like Wendy's shopping. I know, yeah. He's got a bit of everything.
That's gonna calm down because as it becomes less of a like, ooh, like obviously it's the first day, so people are like, it's getting memed around and stuff, and I think that's all gonna level off. But
well, here's the thing. If it's all going to be legal now, and if it's kind of like trying to, I mean, it's trying to do a number of things, but one of the things that it will definitely do is that if it's removing the how do you say it? I can't even say the word.
Illegality?
Yeah. If it's removing that, then what do those people do? Like, where does that money now go into? Like, does it go into like cybercrime or other crime, or how is it going to work out? The other thing I will say is this is now the second place in the world. Like, Uruguay was the first one. Second is Canada. Like, these things tend to snowball after like a couple of months. And I'm not saying that other places are just suddenly going to do it, because obviously there's different reasons why and how, but it's going to bring a ton of money into the Canadian economy for sure.
Yeah,
just for sure. Right.
I mean, the states that have done it have been like perfect use cases in the United States, like the individual states. Like,
but it's medical though, right? It's not like what they've done.
No. California's recreational, and
really?
And Colorado's recreational. Yeah, and those 2 states are like.
Can I buy it though in those states? Can I walk in and buy it?
I think you can. I know it's recreational. I know it's recreational in Canada. Like, it's like buying a donut. I'm sorry, not Canada. California. It's like walking in and grabbing a slice. I mean,
all right.
If it was me, I'd be investing in local Taco Bells in the area and White Castles, because if people are smoking more weed, you know where they're headed next is White Castle.
I think there's going to be a massive opportunity for like experiences, you know, like creative stuff, food. There's going to be a whole bunch of like,
there's going to have to be like a whole like delivery to your door situation. Because if it's free, it's completely free and legal. There's nothing to stop anybody to create like a Postmates of weed, or like an Uber or Duber, if you will, of weed.
Oh my God!
I'm taking it now. I'm claiming it. If anybody
nobody
comes out
call
with
it Duber. Don't call it Duber, for God's sake. So anyway,
but it's going to be interesting to see how that, and I'm glad that it's happening on a countrywide scale, someplace so close to America. Not that America notices or gives a damn about what anybody else does, but it's interesting that. I mean, please, it's North America. Like, Americans don't have the excuse of like, oh, you know, those crazy Europeans or those, you know. It's like, it's here, bro. It's happening. Wake up.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know. I've had that kind of like interesting day with those kind of things like rolling over me. Did a bunch of blogging, did a lot of little video things. I've just got to frame this stuff and step through it bit by bit. And once I've got that out of the way, I feel like that's a big chunk of momentum time that I can then attach to all the other bits and pieces that I want to do. Like, I definitely want to get back into doing more Udemy and Skillshare, but there's also other hosted sites that I would like to use, but I'm not going to go in on those until I've got like regular income coming in. But I definitely I'm going to get into some more affiliate stuff.
Yeah.
After having a nice little payout after a year on that one, because that could literally set us up once a year with a complete refresh of everything. You know what I mean? Just like refresh everything. If I know that I can do them all at once or over the space of a month, set all that stuff up, and then the next month promote it all, then the other 10 months I can just let it sit and then come back to it a year later and just collect all that together. That's the fund for like updating all the hardware, updating all the transportation,
right,
paying all the insurances, all of that stuff.
Well, yeah, it's like the perfect antidote for the monthlies and yearly bills. It's like the exact opposite. So you have bills that are coming in on a monthly or a yearly basis, then you have that pot of money then that's already allocated, and it's not the stress of like, ooh, end of the month's coming up, middle of the month's coming up, beginning of the month's coming up. Like,
yeah,
like I have notifications on my phone. It's like this bill tomorrow. Like, okay, when that pot of money's already there, you set.
Yeah. Did you have any? I didn't even look. Did you have like any other? Did you have a topic for today?
Yeah, but I also wanted to like talk about the fact that I streamed Assassin's Creed last night.
Oh, like, right. That's where we were.
Freaking video games.
Come at me, boy.
Like,
tell me what.
Okay, I have so many thoughts. And I remember thinking critically as I was doing it. Like, I remember being like, I'm having feelings right now, and I need to process them. Okay, so it was a little bit of a faff getting in because it was like, do you have a Ubisoft account? And I'm like, I guess I've been playing Assassin's Creed games forever, but maybe I do, but maybe I don't. Is it the same as a PlayStation account? Yada, yada, like a couple password resets later, which like that stuff is such a pain and we need to not be doing that. It's 2018. Like, can we not? But I got in, and for anybody who knows, I don't have a gaming machine. I just have a 2014 MacBook, and that's it. It struggles on games like Stardew Valley at times, so I don't have any type of processing power locally. And when I game, I use my PlayStation 4, which I absolutely love, but the thought of being able to stream Assassin's Creed, which is a very CPU heavy game at times, was like really interesting. So I got myself on the list, and then how long was it? Like not even 2 weeks, I don't think. I just feel like it was about a week that they emailed me, and they were like, all right, here's your code, you can play. And I'm free to play until January 15th to stream this game. So my thoughts were this. It blew my mind that it was even happening. And I have a really solid connection here, where I'm at currently with the Wi-Fi that we have here. So I was like, oh, this is fine. It's not going to be a problem. And I did get some latency, and it wasn't bad, but when it did happen, it was bad. So that was like, that's my main problem with. And it's like,
if you had a really super fast connection, it would be cool.
I'm not sure though, because they said that I was way above what their required minimum was, obviously. And I felt like I would have rather played the entire game at a slightly lower resolution and then just have it be smooth, because when it looked good and it was there and it was playing correctly, like the cutscenes, everything was absolutely stunning. And especially on the Retina screen on my computer, I was like, my goodness, where am I?
Wow.
But when it would stutter, especially a game like Assassin's Creed, if you're familiar with it, like if you're in hand-to-hand combat, a lot of it is very timing based. So you're dodging things and you're parrying and, you're sneaking up on people and you're assassinating them before they notice you. If you get a stutter in one of those situations, you're dead. Yeah, and it wrecks the whole like immersion of it. So like, I'm not even going to sit here and complain about something that didn't even exist, a week ago in my world.
I would say probably that just a lot of things happening on your machine in the background, like issues with router, DNS over Wi-Fi instead of Ethernet connection. Like when you're playing on the PS4, it's a dedicated like ecosystem, and the game is local.
Yeah,
like
right.
It's on Blu-ray, so it's just loading, and you're just like a character inside of those cutscenes. So
sorted.
You're never going to have the same experience. The fact that they can stream it to you, though, that's pretty incredible.
The other thing that I have to say, which has nothing to do with anything, but I've never played Assassin's Creed on a keyboard and mouse before. So that was a whole situation, because I was like, I feel weird.
Yeah.
I'm such a console person when especially a game like that where it's not a shooter. It's like such a console person. I'm going to try today and And they said
with
that
the
I could
controller.
plug my controller in with a USB cable, and that blew this old person's mind.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What?
Yeah, but if you think about it, it's everything that IBM had said, like in the 80s, that everybody would connect to the cloud. You know, they were kind of way ahead. They didn't call it cloud, but like everybody would connect to this big thing, and everybody would stream all your apps and all your games and everything would be in this box, in this cloud somewhere. And if the connections are going to be as fast as 5G, and we can get we can get over the security issues, and we can kind of mitigate the DOS attacks and all of that stuff, then that dream could come true. That dream of like being able to, and especially if like people like Elon get his satellites up everywhere across the planet, imagine being able to like do any of that stuff from a tent, or like,
telling you.
just, like, do you know what I mean? It's like at that point, then you're just buying a piece of hardware with a screen with minimal computing technology in it, or like the supercomputer in your pocket, like the iPhone X or whatever with its neural net, and 5G connection, boom, off you go. Like the face of technology and the deliverable of it is going to completely change in the next year. That's what's mind blowing to me.
You know what? It also, like, it really forced me to realize how my interaction with the hardware completely changes like my feeling of immersion. Like, you know, when I used to play, like when I used to play Assassin's Creed, like I would get settled in. Like I'm sweatpants on, pillows, snacks. I'm in it. Like, and I'm usually in a, you know, like in bed or on a couch. Well, when I'm playing on my computer, I'm sitting at a desk, and my brain didn't turn off from work mode when I was doing that, because I'm not. You and I will PC game, you know, here and there, but we're usually on audio chat. So when it was just like, oh, it's my me time, it's my gaming time, and I was still sitting at my desk, I was like, this doesn't feel right. Like, I don't feel fully relaxed, and I don't know why. And it was like only after I kind of thought about it, I was like, wow, I didn't realize how like picky and particular I am about the way it's delivered to me, you know? So that was a really interesting experience. I'm totally going to keep playing it. I'm going to try to get the controller situation going. But, and I'll report if anything like major changes, but I was like, how am I playing this game on my like computer? Because I know how games run on my computer. Just something so like visually stunning and so like CPU heavy, just running like, I mean, I would say it was 80% smooth, but it was just that when it did kind of screw up, it just, you know, it ruined that particular thing that I was trying to do.
It would do, because it's brought you out of the immersion of like, and because you're used to it being super crispy and just no issues. So imagine with a up-to-date machine with decent graphics and like being able to swap between, I'm going to stream some games, or I'm going to do some work, or I'm going to flip into a different.
I'm telling you, I'm ready for that life.
Especially if you, like I say, if you've got a 5G thing and it's integrated into the back of the screen or the laptop itself, and then you're literally clicking on icons, and those icons are environments. You know, this is my crypto environment for like Steam Hunt and all that stuff, and then another one for my gaming, and another one for something else. You know, like, and then when you disconnect them, like whenever you connect again, it's refreshed, it's up to date, it has all the security. People will pay money for that. Yeah. People will pay good money for that.
I would love to have those suites, and I also think it would help me to kind of have that leisure time. Like, that's kind of what we wanted to talk about a little bit today, was like that conscious switching on, switching off thing, because I don't think if you do the conscious switch off, you actually even start resting. Like, I can physically be at rest. I can physically be not doing work, and I'm definitely still not rested. So like, there are certain things, certain hacks. Like I've also once read that you shouldn't ever, when I was a teenager, I read you shouldn't do homework in bed, because your brain starts to remember, like, this is the place we're activated. This is the place that we think. That way, when you try to actually go to sleep later, you can't do it. So it's like you said, if you have different environments, you can actually be like totally intentional. I feel like you have a different machine for each section and each like vibe that you're feeling at the moment. I love that idea.
I think if people are if people are living decentralized lives, they're just going to Airbnb for like 3 days and then traveling to another country, doing a bit of work on the route, you know, like going to Canada and getting high as a kite. And then just like, where do I work from? Oh, I'll just pick up a panel from the airport and boom, like it's all integrated in there, like biometric fingerprint, just like ding, ding. That's me. I have a crypto, you know, I imagine, and it kind of came out of an idea of this wallet that I've seen called the Pillar wallet, which is basically like a passport to all your cryptos. So anything that you have of value from different chains are all in this wallet. And I'm slowly starting to think now that they're going to be almost like the modern day access cards for clubs and bars and things like that, with loyalty. Multipass. So it will be multipass. It will be crypto multipass.
Yeah.
But it will be literally like, oh, do you have value in this community? Let me have a look at your record. Oh yeah, you know, it will be that.
Yeah.
And the Ubers will fly and they will pick us up and
the Dubers will deliver.
It will be as fragmented and crazy, but also it will operate somehow.
But like
I mean, there'll be levels to it, of course.
I don't have any reservation in 100% buying that possible reality, like buying into that, because all of the sci-fi movies in the 80s are, if they haven't come true, they are coming true currently. So like any sci-fi future that you're imagining as we're talking about this, it's real. It's going to be the one. It's happening. It's going to be total recall, multipass situation.
I think it already is Total Recall. I feel like it is anyway. Last week or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had a point about was it about chilling down, or how do you get
I think. Well, okay. So there's a couple things that I do probably at this point unconsciously throughout the day because of the way that we work. We don't have like the normal social cues that break up like. Up the regular 9-to-5ers day, which is like you get in, you sit down, you get back up, you get some water, you do this, you do that, and then it's like you do 3 more things, and then it's lunchtime, and then I'm not roasting anybody. Like if you have a 9-to-5,
it becomes that linear.
Yeah, but like you know that you have the big lunch break, but there's even like 3-4 subsections before and after lunch that are like. Ding, like oven's done, walk over here, do that, walk this.
Oh my god, you're just taking me back to all of those awkward like conversations waiting for the microwave to ding.
You're like, oh, somebody brought in donuts, and you open them up and there's like 3 shreds of a donut, 3 different flavors of like nobody. Oh, never mind. So but so since if you are a person, and I used to think that I could do this. I used to think that I'm a person. If you're a person who works from home, I used to think like I could just be like, oh, I don't have any of those distractions. So like 8-hour day, I'm gonna work 8 hours straight, motherfuckers. Like I really was like ready to go. But it's not the best. It's not the best use of my mental capacity resources. It's not the best way to avoid burnout. It's not the best way to be creative. So I feel like we have to build in our own those things, like our version of those things that break up the day, that give us a break, that activate a different part of the brain, but then also are flexible enough for us to be like, well, how do I feel today, and what do I want to work on today, and like what works for me.
Do you think the reason why we've got like this, and by that I mean, no, the reason why we've got like this, as I can't believe this. I can't believe you've done this.
Why are we
the reason why?
this?
Do you think the reason why we're like this is because we have such flexibility now with tools like Amazon? Like, oh, here it is. Here's a photo. It's on the back porch. Yada yada yada. You know, like, do you think that there is like just a natural leak into the day-to-day life that we've almost compulsively, probably ignorantly, refactored the human experience in some way to expect that now?
Well, yeah, like I get frustrated when I see people spending time on things. Like it really upsets me. Like I see it a lot with my family. Like, oh, I got to see if this thing is for sale, and I don't know. And I heard from this person that it might go on sale at this date. I'm like, go to the official website. What are you doing? What do they got, a Twitter account? Let me see. Like I'm on it. Like I feel like I've been able to like find out the straight line between A and B for a lot of digital things, that it's only not because I'm a genius, but just because I it's repetition. I've had to do it so often. So if that's what you're asking, like our flexibility, I feel like the more flexible my life gets, the more structure I build in. I'm starting to build in more and more engineered like structure, because otherwise I'm either all over the place or I'm completely burnt out. So like I am my own, I'm like a really tough taskmaster on myself. It's not like, I think people have this perception of people who work at home where it's like, ooh, how you liking that sweatpants life, watching YouTube all day? Like you do it too. Like sometimes we'll have our day planned down to the hour, like 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. I'm doing this. 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. I'm doing this. I've got like notification, bing, now switching your tasks to this, bing, switch your tasks to this. Even if you engineer your break inside of that structure, yeah, I feel like when I have a really productive day, it's the day that I follow the most structured of a schedule, of a timeline.
Mm-hmm. I do think weeks are, I do feel like we're on the edge of a black hole, though. I do feel like we're very interstellar just recently. I mean, it's been good in a way, actually, because originally when you left way back now, like 6 months ago-ish, I mean, 5-6 months ago, like I thought this period of time would feel longer. I mean, it's felt long, don't get me wrong. It's felt long.
It feels long, but I have to admit that it feels the shortest of any 6 months or 8 months or 9 months that I've been away from you.
That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying.
For sure. Like I feel like it's been 3 months, maybe times.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And I think that's tying into what I was saying, or trying to tie that in with what I was saying earlier on, is that I feel like that now I've got a lot of that stuff in flow. I do feel like I can be flexible about those things and do things around it. But I'm also noticing that we're in a very small minority of people who are online digital workers, and I know there's a bunch of people who are getting laid off or changing jobs or doing, want to do something else, or just taking up a completely different job in a different industry altogether. You just have to look at the data to see that people are like literally swapping hats and just doing different kinds of work. And I do wonder about where we fit into all of that moving forward, because there's lots of other countries with the next generation coming up. We're getting like, YouTubers and, the younger populace are getting to where they want to get to early on,
right.
Like, I don't know. I feel like you have to craft your own journey now. Like it used to be, I used to feel as a teenager that, you'll grow old and this is what the model of somebody growing old looks like. They go down to the pub, they just have a wander, they go and do this. Like, I don't see that anymore. The older generation that I see seem to have done it as well. I see them like have a schedule. Like my mom's got a schedule. She goes to a certain class and do all that. My nan, my granddad, my grandmother, they never did that.
But you know what? That's the thing. It's like I saw somebody say on Twitter, for everybody who complains about smartphones, I think you forget how boring the world used to be. And like that is that's a funny way of saying it. But I feel like the more efficient these online tools make me, the more accountable to my time I feel like I am. And you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I ever dicked around more than before I had a cell phone. Ever.
That's true.
And now my cell phone allows me to get 10x done at least in a day than I would, analog. And I feel even more accountable to my time. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like, oh my gosh, like I gotta, like, especially with, I think part of in my mentality is that I'm like, psychically and spiritually and emotionally astral planing, like linked to you in 5 hours ahead. So by the time I wake up at 5:30, I'm like, oh my God, it's 10:30 in the UK. I gotta get my shit together. Like I just have this like, weird. I have this like, I wake up feeling behind like all the time. But
how weird is that going to be when you get here and you're going to be like on that like 5 a.m. clock?
So good. No, I'm going to be at 10 a.m. clock. For you.
Well, true. Yeah, true.
I'm pre-jet lagging myself for 9 months.
No. I mean, when you get here, you'll be for the first week or so, you'll be like out of like sync and stuff. But I mean, that'll be nice because I think we'll get back in sync with our universe as well. You know, we've got like independent universe. We're sharing the same one, obviously, but like, I think remotely from each other, yes, I agree with you, that whole sync thing. But just recently, that decentralized pull to go to the next, to be prepared for the next level is really, really strong with me. Like, I'm literally like trying to put things in a way that I can just, all right, get rid of this and get rid of all of that and chuck on a backpack and be like, all right, that's auto running and that's bringing me finances in that we can literally skip from here, there and everywhere. And there's a reason for that, is that I want to be aware of the time, even though we're optimizing our time and doing work on the go, I still want to be present inside of it.
But that's what a structure allows you to do, because then your off time is really like this potent, delicious, concentrated off time that is like not watered down or not affected by outside things. You're
talking about port, right?
Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm talking about once the cork comes out the bottle, devices are down. That's it. Bye. Bye, universe.
Pretty much
I'll see you in 12 hours.
Pretty much how it was. I'll never ever forget us, like, I don't know how it happened, but I introduced you to Old Rosie, like a bottle of it. I said, you should try this. I think you'll like it. And then you had it, and then you were like, you got 3/4 of the way down the bottle, and you sat on the bed and you looked at me and went, whoa, okay, Rosie.
Okay, girl.
And then I've never seen a woman stride so much in my life through a supermarket to go and get a keg of it. And then with just one look and a bit of a wink, I'm buying a keg of it as well.
A jug.
Demijohn. It was a demijohn. They're called demijohns. Like, demijohns are like what we use in the UK
summer.
Well, it's probably because we had 2 big batches of Old Rosie.
We're keeping it in the bathroom.
I know.
Like proper, like distillery hick. Like, I don't know if I told you, but it's a known fact that my family used to make wine in the bathtub. The Italians, like, obviously the Italians. Right. That doesn't sound like the Germans. Like, my mom will tell me, it would be like, you can't use the tub today. There's wine in the tub. We're making wine.
I remember in the 80s. I remember in the 80s, like, German wine suddenly like was massive in the UK. Yeah, Riesling. Yeah. So kind of like, I remember my mum drinking it, like taking me out she had like a convertible. What's called an MG Spitfire, like a brown car with like no roof on it. She loved it. That's the part of history of my mum that I will always remember and always cherish, is that she was almost like one of the Charlie's Angels, the way that she
totally
looked
at like sunglasses, scarf tied around underneath,
big glasses,
like Jackie O style, like.
And it was great because I didn't know who the hell I was. Like, I was just this kid in this weird dysfunctional family. Like, my dad was weird and with a beard and Irish, and I didn't realize that I was Irish. You know, like, you just don't realize. I didn't realize this. I was kind of just like, can I go back on my computer now? But occasionally, my mum would just like grab me and say, "Come on, we're going to go and get a bottle of Riesling," like on a Friday night, like it was the highlight of a week.
Oh, baby!
She'd drive to the nearby place, and we'd get like the proper wine shop, and then grab a Chinese, and she'd buy me a separate bag of chips to eat in the car.
Chinese on a Friday night with your family was everything. Like, why did I don't know why. We probably should have been having pizza, but it was always Chinese on a Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, but
it's Friday. Like, we had chips and stuff. Like, we had chippy night on Fridays. Friday. I don't know. It's Friday night is like a culmination of a end of a week, or it used to be.
You know
in the
what
family
Friday
unit.
used to be for me though? Friday used to be the like, fuck you, work. You don't control me anymore. I'm going out. Like, or whatever that meant. It was like, I did things that I didn't even want to do, in terms of like, if I was just tired, if somebody invited me out somewhere or whatever was going on, I was going to force myself to do it because I had to prove to myself that I didn't just exist to work. So like, it's like the most teenage rebellion fueled type of decisions that you make on a Friday night, because you're like, even as a grown ass adult, just because you're like, I gotta prove to myself that I'm not just living for talking to Jan at the water cooler. There's gotta be more. Maybe it's at the bottom of this glass.
Now there's a TV show called The Office, and oh my god, I'm inside of it.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I totally get you.
I hate to like come on here and rag on 9-to-5s, because like if that's what makes you happy, for sure. For me, I was so unhappy in my particular 9-to-5s. Like I was just like, I need to do something to prove to myself that this is not what my life means.
It's a chapter of your life, right? I see it as just a chapter of your life that I think everybody has to experience it so that they know what it comes with. Like 9-to-5 and a job where you get paid monthly is about maintaining a level of stability or a lifestyle choice that like you want to subscribe to. You're literally subscribing to a lifestyle, right? If you're happy, I mean, maybe you were career driven. Maybe it's just part of the career of engineering or whatever that you wanted to do, and then you're into it and you're like, yeah, I'm doing the job I want to do. The problem with that is it does great on you because
the water
it always there's always a Karen, but it always it's linear, right? It becomes linear. Everything, it doesn't matter how good your job is. You could work at the new Apple place, right?
There are people who take comfort in that. Like, we're crazy ENTPs. Like, that's a death sentence to us. But for some people, and I'm not talking down about it, that's a source of like comfort, stability. There's people who wake up in the morning. I know one very, very personally as my father, who wants to know what they can expect for the day. They want to be able to step through it, and they want to feel like what they expected happens, and what happens was expected. Do you know what I mean?
That's a very German way of putting it. But yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's why it does work for some people. I think when we say like expected, it's like almost like a negative term to us, but for other people.
And again, I think that comes from the things that we are interested by and blown away by. They leak into our decision-making centers as well. Like, I haven't got nothing against working a 9-to-5. If there was a startup or a co-working space that had a particular like set of elements to it, of things that I enjoy today, live streaming, video stuff, gaming, you know, like crypto, if it had those things and there was a job like that required somebody as a content manager or something like that, I'd probably love it. But I also know that now I've experienced the tsunami wave of like having the flexibility of building that day, like you said earlier on. I just don't know if I can adopt somebody else's outlook of what a life looks like in an office space. Yeah. Because the ideal for me would to have a decentralized job like that, where I could be somewhere for 4 hours and I could walk through a door and there'd be a scanner and there'd be something else. And I go and spend 4 hours and volunteer and work and suggest and sit around the table and build stuff and make stuff, and then walk out of the place having 4 hours allocated to my altruistic token. Right.
Yeah.
So that, because I want it, that for me would be the ultimate kind of working environment for me. And I think in the future, being able to land in an airport, like stay somewhere in a co-work for a couple of hours, meet up with people in that space that you didn't even know, like, you know, that they don't know you don't, but they got enough information from your like profile to see that you know stuff that you need to kind of like get that information face to face on. You know, I want it to run as fluid as that, and I think it's coming. I really do think it's coming, that I can be like, I feel energetic today. I'm going to spend 12 hours. I'm going to do 12 hours of work, but I'm going to divide it in 3 ways. Like, I'm going to be altruistic today. I'm going to be like, I'm going to volunteer today. I mean, they're the same things, but like, go and work in a startup, consult today. I'm going to do some video work, I'm going to do some rendering, I'm going to do some photography, and, you know, like literally have the, like the jobs I was on about, like those little apps I was talking about a year ago, 2 years ago, that I wanted to build. I just think there's a wealth of opportunity in between the gaps that people have crafted services into. The Netflix,
right?
You know, the and now we're getting these stream things from Google. Like, what else can they stream to us in the time zones that we're like having supposed? I mean, I'm down for that.
That's what I want. I'm putting it out there. I'm like with all of my mystical soul energy that I want.
Love it.
Streaming ramen. But yeah, I think like, I mean, that works exactly kind of about your app ideas. It's like, if we talk about how how I would love to break up my day, it would be money for today, the projects that like literally afford me the wine that I'm going to buy later. I feel like we're talking about wine a lot. It's not that deep. Like we're not drinking every day, but maybe I feel like I should have bought a bottle.
Here we are. When you
true.
That is true. That is pretty true. Yeah, it is. Yeah. If we get any transport anywhere and we get a bus, like we get off the bus and right in front of us is a shop, and it's like,
yeah, because when you're out,
I've lost you. I've lost you in a 4-row shop to only discover you again at the till with a bottle of wine under your arm. Like,
well,
just gonna have a quick drink.
It's not just for me. Don't make it like that. Anyway.
No, I've got one as well.
Yeah, well, okay. So you're saying we both met up at the till with our bottles of wine because we know that
many times
we can't share a bottle.
Nope.
What I'm saying is you have your money you have your work that buys you the money for today or this week. Then you have your work your projects. Like for me, I'm dividing my day between my client work that I'm going to get a payout in 7 days. And then I have my work that it doesn't earn me any money today, but I'm hoping to build up residuals with it at some point. So that's my money for tomorrow, next year, next couple of months. And then there's like the work that you do for somebody else or with somebody else, like the altruistic stuff, the charity work, the just stuff that makes the world a better place. The
real life RC credits.
I'm telling you.
The real life RC manner and credits.
But so tell me, like, I think you and I have pretty similar ways of like having our break times, but like, what do you do when you're just like tapped out on one type of energy and you have to switch it up to a different type of energy, but like you want to take some downtime in between? Do you have any go-to things that you do or self-hacks?
I definitely go outside and I definitely stretch. I take a big deep breath. I really get into nature and feel the air on my face. Like I don't want to just be in a seat in a space. Like I'll stretch and I'll go out, and sometimes I'll walk as well, a little bit of distance just to get some air in my lungs. I also use the ACV, the apple cider vinegar as well, with a good glass of water to mix everything up, like just to get things going in the stomach. Like even if it causes me a bit discomfort, depending on if I've eaten or had coffee or something, even if it unsettles me, I find that the unsettling me is a good like kickstart for me to be like present in the change, rather than just like, looking at the clock and I've only got so many hours for the rest of the day to get this done. Instead of stressing about that, I kind of rewind like that. Also changing spaces. Like, don't sit just in one space, like move somewhere else in your house or your apartment, and literally like swap machine from like desktop to laptop, even if you're only just like browsing or looking at something else. Also peppermint tea. Peppermint tea is incredible. It's incredible for like really brain resetting. And then obviously the usual ones like the 5-10 minutes, just even the 5-10 minutes of meditation is brilliant. Because I started really centers you.
Doing some videos, like meditation videos. They're not guided or anything, but so one of my favorite ways to like relax is by drawing on this thing called a Buddha board, where you use ink. You use water in place of ink. And I decided I'm just going to put out a 10-minute video every single day where I doodle around on this board and put relaxing music. And what people can get from it is that it's a set amount of time. It's a 10-minute. It's going to have relaxing music. And then you can do whatever you want to that. You can have it on in the background. You can do yoga. You can paint. You can meditate yourself. Just close your eyes. You could take a nap. Like, I just wanted to make sure that I was carving that time out for myself every day, and then I'm sharing it because I'm hoping that other people can do it. I mean, 10 minutes, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
it's nothing.
Yeah, really. So yeah, that meditation's a really big one. And yoga is like probably the biggest one of the biggest hard resets I can think of. That is just like, after I get done with yoga, again, even if yoga's 10 minutes, it's like this switch that happens where I think our bodies kind of shift to the background. Our physical bodies shift to the background when we're working digitally. They're just not there.
That's true.
You're not aware of your body. You're not paying attention to your body. Your posture sucks. You're not breathing right. Like your eyes hurt.
Yeah.
Like everything about where your concentration is focused is outside of your body. So it's so funny that like out of body experiences have always been like linked with something mystical, but it's the mystical part for me is actually getting back into my body and being like breathing and syncing movements and breathing and stretching. Oh my gosh, stretching is everything. Like moving blood to different parts of your body. That's, my legs are just like cramped up and stuff. So yeah, it's like the exact opposite. I mean, it's like the analog activation that you need, I think, when you work on the computer. I'm so biased toward yoga. I just absolutely love yoga, but that's a really big one for me. You know what I'm like after I do yoga and I come back inside and I'm like, hi.
Yeah, you
like,
send out.
and
but at that stage, you're also like, once you've had that kind of reset, I know to like jump. That's when I'm kind of like switching up, where like I'm going to get another coffee on the go because I kind of get up and I'm energized already and I get into something and have that like hour blast. And then it's like, now I need to take time out.
Yeah.
Like I've got a really good way of like doing that. I can kind of like, my brain's still like transitioning through all the perspectives of it. But because I know that you're relaxing or like changing your pace, by the time you get back in here, you come in with a semblance of relaxation. So then I can kind of get the energy from that.
Yeah.
And then I bring you up to my tempo by giving you coffee, and then bang, you're straight into your work. Right. And then I'm like, oh, right. Yeah, we're working again now. Like there's a two for that.
Well, I think that because that's like when I'm grounded. And so you being the ground sign, like if I come in with grounding energy, that like is a multiplier for you. You're like, oh, I can springboard off of this for sure. Like this is the language I speak because I'm usually less grounded than I wish I was. So I think that's it. Like, I can't think, I mean, obviously you and we game together at times. Like I'll have a YouTube break. Actually, I'll do my makeup because even if I'm going nowhere, I'll just sit there and like put colors on my face and makes me feel like I'm being creative and painting and doing something analog and colorful. And like, I can just like look like an insane mermaid on my face and be wearing sweatpants and not go anywhere and have dirty hair. And that makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm living my best life. So
I love it.
It just, whatever those little breaks are, but you have to engineer them in because if you don't plan for them, you either work too long or your break becomes invaded by other stuff and you don't get the benefits of the break. So you have to be like real strict with yourself about this being break time and stick to it.
From centralization to realization.
Wow, 57 minutes. This is my lucky number. Bad.
It is actually. We should end right now.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks for spending time with us today.
Subscribe with Pocket Casts and get notified right away.
And if you use Anchor FM, please feel free to call in and leave us a message. We'll try to reply in our next cast.
If you'd like to support the podcast, you can now go to anchor.fm/positive and click on the button.
And if you'd like to hang out with us in our Discord, there's a link in that page as well.
Stay positive, and we'll speak to you soon.